So after round 25, we had lunch break on day 4, and that's when all the results really started to trickle in, and it really started to creep into my head, like, holy God, like, I'm in 4th. And the way this Nationals format works is they were going to pull the top 2 players and have them play a best of 3 after 31 games. And as the dust was starting to shake out, it really settled down that there were 4 possible players who could make it into that top 2 matchup. Will Anderson, Alex Seaholm, Carl Johnson, and me. And that's just absolutely not where I expected to be at this Nationals. I'm maybe the 15th or 20th best person in the room, in my opinion. Maybe 10th, but absolutely not top 4. But that's how Nationals is. You get hot at just the right time and pull the right tiles in a couple games, and holy God. Anyway, my roommate was Conrad Bassett-Bouchard, who also happened to be one of the 2 commentators on the live stream on Twitch. And he was going back and forwards about what game they were going to choose, and ultimately they picked me. I'm going up against Will Anderson, who is the defending champion of this tournament or something like that, and definitely the best player in the room. And if you watched round 13 or 14, you know what Will did to me last time we played. And I think Will is in 3rd at this point, and really it creates a do-or-die game for both of us. Either one of us really desperately needs a win in order to keep fighting for those top 2 spots, because Carl and Alec are significantly ahead of the field. So my goal coming into the Nationals was to get annotated on board 1 at some point, and I achieved that. But now I'm getting streamed. They open up the stream for the last day of the Nationals, and holy God, I'm on the stream playing live in front of however many viewers they're going to end up getting. I know a couple years ago they ended up with 5,000 or 6,000 viewers at a time for a while. So I'm like, what is happening? I'm terrified, especially given the last time I was on board 1, I played the same guy and he obliterated me. He played a phony bingo and tripled and all kinds of crap like that. So it was awful. So I'm terrified, but also a little bit confident and really nervous and really excited, just all these emotions at once. Luckily, my first turn is super easy for me. When you have Kadi on the first turn, you usually just play it, unless you have an S, and you play Kadis. So that's what I do, don't really have to think. Will comes back with Bog, and Degiltu is my rack. And I literally just sat there for about a minute on this turn, like trying to shake off the jitters. I'm like, shaking. And then finally I start to think more clearly, and I noticed Guiled plays right here for 37. So while I can't hit Gilted, the 7 in this rack, that's pretty damn good if you're not going to bingo. So Guiled for 37 it is. Will plays Pacts here, and I feel a little bit disrespected at this point, because I mean, Will has every reason to disrespect my game. I showed him, last game I didn't challenge his phony high prop bingo, and, my word knowledge is not good. We all know that, but Pact takes a front E-Pact, right? And I feel like with Will playing this, maybe he thinks I don't know E-Pact. It's kind of a slap in the face, but I get it. And that's what he decides to do. And he's actually said after the game he thought about playing the Collins-only Pacta right here, which I absolutely would have challenged. I'm confident enough to at least do that. But, that's what Will is supposed to do, too, as an advantage, or as the overdog in a game against someone who doesn't know words. He needs to try and do crap like that. Luckily, I play like my word knowledge is terrible, and my word knowledge is only bad. So people do try this stuff on me, and sometimes they get burned, as Will is about to see. EILOSTT is my rack, so I have 2 7s and an 8. 1 7 plays, 1 doesn't. It's Toilets and Litotes. And then I have an 8 as well. With the A, I have Totalize. So I end up playing the one that scores the most points, which is Litotes. Because Totalize, I'm not letting Will triple on me again. No, sir. Not a chance. Oh, actually, Toilets plays too. Litotes is just more. Ugh. Will comes back with Outa, so I luckily avoid any huge counter that he can have, and I've got a 70-point lead on board 1 in round 26 of a Nationals. Holy crap. Wow, this is like a dream. It really feels like a dream. None of this is real. And then I pick up a blank. So I get another easy turn here too. There's really not much to think about. You just play EU for a bunch of points. And so I do. And Will bingos with Dasheen. Right over here for 85. And now I start to feel a little bit nervous, because this is probably board 1 jitters. I think in most other places, I don't even think about it. Of course, Dasheen takes an S. But on board 1, I'm like, oh God, I'm only 90% sure that takes an S. And, you know, it starts getting in your head, like, Will destroyed me on words last time, and I'm so upset, and a bunch of people on Twitch are watching this. I'm really nervous. Does it take an S? I'd hate to put an S and then blow the game, you know. I end up, I put the rack in the wrong spot again. AFHIMN blank is my rack. So there is actually the 7 I just type in, Hafnium, which doesn't play. No playable bingos here, but I'm looking at Dasheen, really afraid, does it take an S or does it not? And I've got a bunch of similar options on this turn. You can see, like, okay, if maybe is the strongest play by equity, but it opens a board when I don't think I need to. But Fa is right here, and Fa more or less gets rid of that S hook. It at least makes it a lot less threatening. So even if I do squander just a tiny bit of equity to make this play, I don't really mind, just because it gives me a little bit of peace of mind. And it'll help me, you know, think straight for the rest of the game when I'm so nervous. So that's what I decided to do. Will comes back with Vivat for 30. And AEEIMN blank is my pull. And this is actually absurd, because if you've been watching the whole series, man, it's been a year now since I put it up, but I had exactly this rack with a G. I had AEEGIMN against Reed in round 2. And I looked up the rack, and I happen to know there are exactly 3 7s, and they are a Deeming, Geminate, and Liegeman. I looked it up 3 days prior, so 100% confident that the only playable one through the G is Liegeman. And then I've got Meanies right here. And then there is another one with an S, it's Nemesia. But that doesn't play right now, so really I've got 2 viable bingos, and I see them both, and I'm confident that these are the only bingos I have. And I come down with Meanies for 73. But it's just starting to feel like everything is going right for me, man. Like, even my bingo racks that I pull, like, I know the bingo's in here. I drew it 3 days ago. Like, I can't mess this up. Wow. Oh, my God. It's just like a miracle tournament. Will plays Hook, trying to keep things open so he doesn't just get walled in and die. And lo and behold, there it is, the other blank. Easy tiles. I'm going to bingo again. Wow. Like, very anticlimactic game, but it's going to be almost impossible for me to lose at this point. So I've got Resolin here, but I felt like it'd be a little bit harder to lose this game if I play Inliers. It just makes it much tougher for Will to come back with the counter bingo over on the right side. So Inliers is what I decided to do. Gave up quite a bit of quite a few points to do it, you know, 6-point difference, but it's worth it. Absolutely not playing Infertile. And I thought about some of these plays. I was going to play, like, Clinkier. But I wasn't totally sure that was good. That would be, like, definitely the best defensive play. And wow, I'm very glad I didn't, because I'm certain Will would know that that's no good, and I would have lost a turn. So holy crap, just guessed right. You know, played the more conservative play with Inliers, and wow, like, I absolutely needed to do that. So Inliers comes down, and basically the worst thing in the world can happen, or that can happen, actually happens. He bingos with Uranemia. So I go from, like, I'm up 130, both the blanks are gone, like, I feel great, to, ooh, okay, we do actually have a game. But ABDOORW is my pull. And if you look at the unseen pool right now, there's 22 unseen, and there's an A, an E, an O, and a U. And that is it. So for Will to effectively score points, he's going to need to use vowels, but then if he uses the vowels, there's none left. And I have at least 3, so suddenly I feel very, very good about my chances again. Now, Will Anderson might be the best Scrabble player on the planet, aside from maybe Nigel Richards, but you know, he's going to need an absolute miracle to work his way through all of that junk and actually win this game. So I just throw it on Bo. I get to keep 2 of my vowels. You know, maybe I want to. I liked knocking out the X, I think, up here. So that's what I decided to do. I guess XYST would have been an absolute murder play, but luckily that didn't happen. So Bo comes down. Will plays Pyro right here for 48, and ADJNORT. So I didn't even look for plays like this, but Jordan plays for 50 right here, and it's very tough to lose a game, but I've just been so fixated on there are 3 vowels in the entire bag. The worst thing that can happen is what happened to me last time, where I draw just an absolute garbage rack. Will set something up, and I can't do anything about it, so damn it, I'm holding on to my vowels. I'm going to play Jin. You know, Jordan's probably the best thing to do here, but, like, I'm just playing not to lose the game at this point, and so Jin is what I decide to do. And Will comes back with Zarf. Doesn't use any vowels because he probably doesn't have any. Adnorty. So that's actually the 7 tardy on, but it doesn't play on the board. But that's fine, not complaining. I've drawn like a, just lucky fool this game. And, Will probably knows all the 9s that he can be fishing for through AN or FE. He's so good that he will look for all of that stuff. And I'm not good enough to look for all of that stuff. So I figure, what, forget it. I'm not even going to give him a chance to fish for anything. I'm just going to empty the bag right now. I don't think he can bingo, and I don't want to give him the chance to fish for a bingo. And, unless he bingos with a crazy 9 exactly right now, I'm just going to win as long as I play at least 3 tiles and empty the bag. So I'm going to play a roint and just, end the game as soon as humanly possible. I'm scared. This is probably dumb. I'm sure I can milk more spread out of it at this point, but I just want to win, man, on the stream, So I'm sure there's better things I could and should have done, but unless he hits a 9 right now, I'm never losing the game after a roint. And sure enough, ACGLRSU is his rack. ACGLRSU. I pick up an X, which is a little scary. And then he sets down chronicles, or whatever the heck this word is, for 60. And I'm like, oh my god, he caught up. How did Will catch up? He's had absolutely nothing this entire game. He scored 400 points. He almost beat me anyway. But luckily it wasn't enough. Exam is, 50 points or whatever. And so that's it. I win. I beat Will Anderson on the stream on board 1, more or less eliminating him from contention. I think he could have theoretically won out and made it to the top 2, but what? I was in 4th place, I'm streamed, and I won again? Holy crap. This is just a dream tournament. So there we go. That was round 26.